If you were the only one actually carrying the weight, the only one showing up, paying the bills, losing sleep, do you still owe everyone else a say in what happens next? Because my siblings think I stole from them. And honestly, I'm still not sure they're completely wrong. Okay, so here's the situation. My mom, her name was Diane, passed away 14 months ago after about 3 years of declining health. Dementia, then a fall, then the kind of slow deterioration that nobody warns you is actually a full-time job. I'm the oldest of three kids. There's me, there's my brother Caleb, who lives about 4 hours away, and my sister Petra, who moved to another country, literally another country, 6 years ago for her husband's work. So when mom started needing real help, it was me. I'm the one who cut my hours at work. I'm the one who drove her to appointments, managed her medications, dealt with the facility when she eventually had to go into memory care. Caleb came down maybe 4 times in 3 years. Petra came twice. I'm not saying that to be cruel, they had lives, I understood that, but it is the context. The house. Mom's house was this two-bedroom place she'd owned for over 30 years, paid off. Worth somewhere around $340,000 in the current market, which in our neighborhood is actually not nothing. When mom died, she left no will. I know. We talked about it, she kept saying she'd get to it and then she didn't. So the house went into probate, which means the three of us inherited it equally as next of kin. 1/3 each. That part is not in dispute. What is in dispute is what I did next. For almost 8 months after mom died, we were in this holding pattern. The house was sitting empty. I was paying the utilities and the property taxes out of pocket to keep it from falling into trouble, and every time I tried to get Caleb and Petra on a call to talk about next steps, something came up. Caleb was dealing with a job change. Petra had a new baby. And I get it, life doesn't pause, but the bills weren't pausing either. I had put in and I tracked this. I have a spreadsheet, just over $19,000 of my own money into mom's care over those 3 years. Things insurance didn't cover, things the facility charged extra for, the hospital copies, the medical equipment for her room. $19,000. And I'd never asked either of them to chip in because it felt wrong to make it transactional while she was still alive. But she wasn't alive anymore. And I was sitting on a third of a house I couldn't use, watching it cost me money every month. So I sent them both an email, a very clear email. I said, here are our options. We sell, one of us buys the others out, or we rent it out and split the income. I said I needed a decision within 30 days because I couldn't keep floating the costs alone. Caleb replied 2 weeks later and said he wasn't ready to make a decision. It was too emotional. Petra didn't reply at all. 30 days came and went. So I called a real estate agent. I got the house listed. It sold in 11 days, good market, good timing for 338,000. And then I told them. I sent them both the closing documents and the wire transfer details for their shares, and I included a separate accounting of the 19,000 I'd spent, which I had quietly deducted from my own third before transferring it. I kept 1/3 of the sale, minus 19,000. They each got their full third, and that's when everything exploded. Caleb called me within an hour. He was not quiet about it. He said, and I'm quoting here, "You had no right to make that call without us. That was mom's house. You just erased it." Petra messaged me that same night. "I needed more time. You knew that. This is unforgivable." And look, the unforgivable part stung because I thought I was being practical. I thought I was cleaning up a mess that I had largely created by being the responsible one. Here's where I have to be honest with myself and with you, because this is the part that keeps me up at night. I did not ask them. I sent one email, gave them 30 days, got silence, and then I acted unilaterally on an asset that legally belonged to all three of us equally. And yes, I had legal authority as the estate administrator, that paperwork had been finalized, but having the legal right to do something is not the same as having the moral right, and I know that. Caleb's point that I erased a piece of our mother, I can't entirely dismiss it. He grew up in that house too. Petra took her first steps in that kitchen. The fact that they weren't here to manage it doesn't mean they stopped having a connection to it. My cousin Renata, who's been like a sister to all of us, told me straight, "You were right to be frustrated. You were not right to skip the conversation. Those are two separate things." And I think about that a lot. The other piece, the 19,000. My siblings aren't contesting the number. They're not saying I made it up or inflated it. What Petra said is, if you needed reimbursement, you should have said so while mom was alive, not taken it out of a sale none of us agreed to. And again, I don't love how that lands, but I can't say she's entirely wrong either. A few weeks later, Caleb reached out again, a little calmer this time. He said he didn't want to lose me over this, but that he needed me to acknowledge I had overstepped. Not give the money back, he didn't ask for that, just say it out loud. I haven't responded yet. I don't know what to say, because acknowledging I overstepped feels like erasing all the years I showed up, and staying silent feels like proving his point. So here I am, I sold the house. The money is distributed. My mom's address doesn't exist as mine anymore. My brother wants an apology I'm not sure I can give honestly. My sister hasn't spoken to me in over a month. And I keep turning it over. Was I the person holding everything together, finally reaching a limit? Or was I the person who used that limit as a permission slip to stop asking? Was the real betrayal not the sale, but the 19,000 I reclaimed quietly without a conversation? I genuinely don't know. Both things feel true at the same time, and that might be the worst part. So, am I the problem here? Honestly, though, what would you have done? Comment below.